talked earlier about how people can be leaders regardless of their title or their position. And so I kind of wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that, right? So going back to the question of can anyone lead? Can anyone lead from various different roles?
So I want to pull in an article by John Maxwell. So this is from one of his books. The 5 Levels of Leadership is something from John Maxwell, and he talks about these 5 levels. The levels are level 1 is position, level 2 is permission, level 3 is production, level 4 is people development. Notice they're all P's. Level 5 is pinnacle. And that's the highest level of leadership. And so positional leadership, level 1 is you got a title. So at level 1, people follow you just because of your title. But that is not going to inspire people to follow you. They follow the title, maybe, possibly. It's a starting point, but it is not something that you should leverage. And here's the thing. So many leaders leverage title to lead people, and they don't realize that they're actually probably not leading them, because people have to agree to be led. They don't just follow, they have to agree to follow, which actually takes us to the second level of leadership, which is permission. This level of leadership is not based on position, it's based on relationship. So here, people follow you because they want to. There's some level of connection that they have with you. And so they go, okay, I like you. I'll follow you. Okay. And that's kind of key to you understanding, this progression of why people follow. The next level is production. And this is leaders, by the way, you can be a leader at every one of these levels. You just have to develop yourself through these levels. This is a leader. Level 3 leaders are leaders that get things done. They know how to motivate their people. So in this level, people are still choosing to follow you, maybe based on relationship, but they also do it because you get things done. There are results. There's a track record. And so when there's a track record, when there's results that people can lean on, people want to be on winning teams, right? Tons of people are Lakers, Cowboys, and Yankees fans, only because over the years, these franchises have been winning, even though they may not be winning today. And so people jump on those wagons because they think, I'm going to be with a winner, because people want to be on winning teams. And that's part of this idea behind level 3, leaders that get things done. The next level is people development. And this can be summed up in one word: reproduction. So the best leaders at high levels, reproduce leaders. There's a mantra: leaders don't create followers, leaders create leaders. So if you're in the position, people like you get things done, but are you developing leaders at a high level? Are you not just using people to get things done? And by the way, that's minions, right? When you just use people that report to you or that you lead, and you don't develop them, you don't think about their needs, wants, desires, hopes, dreams, then they're just minions to you. And that is horrible. And while you'll be able to use fear and other tactics, deception, to get things done for a period of time, it won't last. And then the highest level of leadership is when you have dedicated your life to this idea of developing people. You're in leadership for the long haul. It is not just what you do. It is not just a job. You are a leader. Very few of us reach this level, this pinnacle of leadership. But the idea behind this is it's a life dedication to the lives of others. It's really this pinnacle of servant leadership, It is now I am leading not just to accomplish a mission, but I'm leading to recreate leaders. I'm leading actually movements now. And so these are these 5 levels of leadership that I went through that they come from John Maxwell. They're not mine. And so as I think about these levels of leadership, now I understand that leaders can come from anywhere and that leadership can happen without a title. In fact, a title is the lowest level of leadership, right? But this idea of influence really is more about people. And I think that's kind of where we need to boil this down to, is understanding that leading is not about a key performance indicator or production. Those are good things. Don't get me wrong. But at its core, leadership is about the people that you lead. That's why, for me, servant leadership is one of the things I aspire to, because here's the thing, and it's been proven in corporate America, in the military, it's been proven that when people believe that you care about their best interest, they will run through walls for you. Production will go up, morale will go up, all the things that you try to create a process around, and processes are great. We need processes. I am not speaking against processes, but sometimes there's this missing key ingredient of elevating people to the level of humanity, right? And not just minions, but they are literally people that we care about their best interest, and we are pointing them in a direction, but we're allowing them to succeed, and empowering them. In fact, the best leaders say things like, I work for you. How do I clear the way? How do I get you the training you need? Who do I need to talk to clear your path? Those are the best leaders. And I think when we talk about this idea of leaders can be anywhere, we are also including in that as I'm leading people, I am actually nurturing their ability to influence, their ability to lead. There's this one book, and I think it's called The Contrarian's Guide to Leadership. It was written by one of the former presidents of University of Southern California. And one of the things he said in there is, my job is to clear the way for my, leaders. So if, for instance, the head of the business school needs to talk to the governor, I don't go talk to the governor, but I absolutely use the fact that the governor is on my speed dial. And I call the governor up and say, hey, Bill wants to talk to you, or Sally wants to talk to you. And I let them do their business. I am not trying to be everything to everyone. And I thought that the book was amazing, by the way. There are a lot of good anecdotes in that book, but it's called The Contrarian's Guide to Leadership. But I think, those are the kinds of things as leaders. If we want to be leaders, we need to start thinking about the people that we lead and how we make their lives better, how we serve them.
Thanks for that, Abraham. That really got me thinking, because you're so right. Like, nobody wants to feel like a cog in a machine. And I feel like at one point in my life, like, I was very stubborn about not wanting my personal life and my work life to be too intertwined. But I mean, really, they are inherently interconnected, right? I mean, people talk about work-life balance. I mean, it's really not work-life balance, because work is a part of your life. It's work recreation balance, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it just got me thinking about how your work self and your, kind of outside of work self, I mean, they really are, it's the same person. And, a lot of time you have to be able to connect with people on a human level in order for them to actually want to, like you said, work for you. Yeah, those are some really interesting thoughts. And don't be mad at me, I'm going to go a little bit off the cuff here, because as you were talking about the different levels, it got me thinking. I want to know, like, what level of leadership do you think that the majority of people who lead are at? And then
Ooh.
also, what level would you say that you yourself are at?
Oh, girl, you do ask tough questions. You probably need to go into journalism. So there's no data that I have read or looked at because this is off the cuff. This is truly an off the cuff question. But I observe leadership all the time. I am attentive. It's a interest of mine, right? And I will have to say that the vast majority of people that I've seen lead are at the positional level. They are in a position, and in fact, so much so that when you see people that lead with empathy, or people that have progressed to relationship or getting things done, they jump out. Now, let me say this about getting things done, by the way. People that are leading from a positional level, they get things done too. It's just in a very different way. They're getting things done is not inspirational to people saying, I want to be here. Yeah, they got things done, and then half the team is like, yeah, I think I want to go work somewhere else. Okay, you finish this reorg, and now nobody wants to be in the new place that they've been placed, right? So sometimes don't just check a box and say, I got things done, I'm a level 3 leader. No, what do your people, what's the morale level of getting things done? You know, if you were in the military and you took a hill and you were successful, but you killed more than half your platoon, okay, you got it done, but did you inspire confidence? Do they want to go to battle with you again? And I know that you could have done that and lost the team, but they knew that you cared about them, and so yes, they want to go to battle with you again. And that's what I mean. There's this nuance. It's not just getting things done; it's bringing people along with you, making sure that people are the forefront. So yeah, I'm going to go with probably the vast majority of people are level 1 leaders. I don't know that for sure. I would I would actually hope that I'm wrong because I so believe in leadership that I want people to be level 5 leaders. Where am I? Wow. Um, I would really need someone else to rate me, but I feel like I waffle between level 3 and level 4. I think I definitely understand level 4, and the need for people to be developed. So yeah, I'm gonna hedge and say between level 3 and level 4. I don't know if I've dedicated my life to being a leader. I have a mentor that I believe is a level 5 leader, and so when I measure myself against him, I don't measure up. So he's a great leader, and he's done it at some of the highest levels in the United States military, as well as the state of Alabama's leadership.
Abraham, I was going to point out with respect to what you've done, like as a mentor, both myself and, numerous other people, throughout your career. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Just the fact that, you're so invested and passionate, right, about, inspiring new leaders to come forth. So I definitely would classify you as a 4 from my personal perspective, a level 4.
Don't make me cry, Sarah. I mean, I
No,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
I mean, it's true. And for myself, I was kind of thinking about this as well. I think I might put myself somewhere between the 2 and the 3 mark. And I haven't really served a formal leadership position for a while, right? Like since maybe since when I was in university. Since I've graduated, I've been here at Red Hat. And at Red Hat, I have been in an individual contributor role thus far. And, there have been initiatives where I did take a leadership role in terms of the project work or like a team. But again, like it hasn't been a formal part of my role leadership for a while. But thinking back to some of the experiences that I had while I was in college as a leader, the reason I kind of put myself in between that 2 and the 3 is I mean, I think for sure I've got the permission aspect down, right? Where I do feel like I have developed a relationship with the people who worked with me in the past. And I do feel like, they can come to me, if they need things, that sort of thing. But for the production aspect, I have led, these amazing people who I just kind of feel like, even if I wasn't there, even if it was somebody else in my shoes, they would probably be getting like things done regardless. So that's kind of why I put myself between 2 and 3, because I just kind of wondered, like, with the getting things done, like, I think it's still possible even without me in that leadership role, because the people who have worked for me have just done such an awesome job. So that's why I put myself in the middle there.
Sarah, what I will say, knowing you for these years and just knowing, I'm honored to do this podcast with you. So what I see potential that's through the roof. And I've told you this before, and it might have sounded like a joke, but it's really not a joke. It's serious. I'm gonna want you to hire me because at some point you are gonna be leading at the highest levels. Um, if that's what you want to do. I know you're at a point in your life where you're kind of exploring that, but I think you have all the makings of an amazing leader. Um, and I think you are an amazing leader. I don't want to say you aren't, but I see more and more opportunities coming. And so we didn't talk about this in this series, but one of the things about a leader is this ability to continue learning and to be curious about, things that take you to the next level. Your
Mhm.
curiosity is off the chart. One of the reasons we're doing this podcast is the notes you took from our mentorship sessions. And I'm looking back at the notes like, oh my God. And so I think it's going to take that. I think you have this rare mix of empathy as well as getting things done. I mean, that's your number one. You're going to get things done, but I think you care about people. I just say keep doing what you're doing, but also, start looking for those positions of influence that may have a title. And if that's what you want to do, I'm a huge proponent of your wanting to do it. Feeling that there's purpose there for you, feeling that there's direction there for you, because I am so sure that there would be a lot of people that would love to serve under you. I bet there are people on your team right now. She didn't tell me to say this, y'all, but I just foresee that there are people on your team right now that are thinking she would make a great leader. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. I am not going to rate you right now because I think at some point you are going to be a 5. And so we're going to leave that rating right there. But I think that where you are right now, you are absolutely an amazing leader.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I was kind of at a loss for words a little bit. This has just been such an enriching experience, just like the whole journey of the podcast, right? From, when it's introducing ourselves to our listeners, into now. But I just had one last thought about the, concept of leadership from any role, right? And this is and I don't want to end on a negative note. So, I'll just put it as, more so a lesson learned, in my leadership experience, right? So I realized a long time ago, when I was a Taekwondo instructor, back in my high school days, that somebody can be a leader from any position, and it can also be somebody who's, supposed to be underneath me, who I'm supposed to be leading. And the specific example that I'm thinking about is that, like, I used to teach family classes, and there are these 2 children who I was teaching, and, one of them just like was not getting, this form that I was trying to teach them. And, I tried different strategies out, right? I mean, I had been told to, break the form down into pieces so that it's more digestible for somebody to learn. I tried to do that. I tried to, just do it with them, and, really like demonstrate, but then also be getting it much quicker. And so I just kind of left that student behind, really. And I turn around, take a break, and then come back. And then what do I see? It's like one of the older individuals. I mean, again, it's a family class, right? So this person's a good amount older than me at the time. They have gone back, and they taught the rest of that form to the younger student who was struggling. That was a lesson for me in terms of just being patient as a leader. You are not gonna just back to what you said, Abraham, about how different people, they have different needs, right? Obviously, some people are just going to need more time to retain certain things. And, a true leader is somebody who's going to be able to accommodate to the best of their ability and find ways to get everybody on the same page. So that's just something that I learned, on my journey. And I thought I would share that because really, followers can be leaders if they are put in that position where they can step into that role. So the leader themselves has to also, acknowledge when one of their followers has taken on that role. Like I think it's important for a leader to acknowledge, hey, in that situation, I'm pretty sure I did actually, talk to the student who was older, who was helping the other one. I was like, hey, like, thank you for that. As a leader, like, you want to acknowledge when you're seeing other people moving in the right direction and maybe even doing better than you did at a certain thing.
Maybe it took that person to unlock the potential in the student that wasn't getting it. So as a leader, realizing that you are not all things to all people, maybe you need to employ someone that has what you don't. And apparently this other student had a little more patience than you. And so, that's an amazing story, actually, where there's so many lessons that can be drawn from that.
Sure. I agree. Yeah. So this is actually the last official episode of the Mentors Musings podcast, but I wanted to share that we're just going to be continuing to ideate and think about ways that we can, share our learnings, from life, from leadership, from mentorship, with those who have been listening all the way up until this point. Yeah, we have an idea to reach out to people who are leaders in their respective spaces and kind of learn about them and their expertise. So do stay tuned. I think this is like the perfect segue into, what could be next. So I just want to thank everybody for listening. And thank you, Abraham, for, sharing all of your insights along the way. This has been great.
Thank you for having me. And I'm a little sad, but I know there's more to come. This has been amazing. And Sarah, this couldn't have happened without you. And I just want to acknowledge to everyone out there listening that Sarah has been absolutely amazing in organizing this and in executing this, even editing the videos. And so I can't thank you enough for pushing me out of my comfort zone. So I appreciate that. And that's why I say she is an amazing leader. So thank you. And thank you all for listening to us.